bend it around and you weld the whole length of it, and then you weld the cutting edge into it and shape it. So the piece of iron I'm using, actually, and it's the same as what's going around. It's a piece of chain, a big chain that a fisherman in Louisburg was using as a mooring, and he hauled the chain up, and he's got about 60 feet of it laying on the shore now, and he doesn't want it anymore. So a friend of mine out in Louisburg has been taking it bit by bit. He brought me a couple pieces, and there's a piece of it on the table there for iron in the hat.
That's right.
The cast iron brace in between the length.
Oh, it's perfect wrought iron, isn't it?
You can see the company logo that was still on it, the company mark was still on it, and the cast iron. And he researched the company, and the company went out of business something like 1870. So it's been in Louisburg Harbor a long time, and now it's going to be an axe. We hope.
You have more actually.
Right there. The thing with iron, you don't necessarily need flux. I'm going to use flux anyway, but the way iron is, the way the wrought iron used to be made is, it would be poured out onto a sand floor, and it would absorb some of the sand into it. So it's got silica in it. It doesn't have carbon, so it doesn't oxidize the same in the fire. And the silica provides a little bit of flux for the iron anyway. And you'll notice I'll probably work it too cold. My tendency is to work iron too cold. You have to work it also with welding heat all the time. It starts to fray if you work it too cold, but if it frays, you bring it up to welding heat, tack it back in, it welds itself together again. That's all. It's awesome stuff to work with. It's a pain sometimes, but it can be an awesome product. Like that color right there. Steel, that's great. Iron, that's almost too cold. And a stone, yeah.
That's a heat.
So we kind of forged this out already, so we're just going to flip it a little bit. We've done a bit of striking together. That's hot.
Yeah.
Starting to split on the end there. Starting to fray. Not too worried about that. That's going to weld back in.
That piece of wire, that was from the chain, right? Yeah. And it's already flat? Well, it's already made up. Nice, okay.
George.
The heating.
fire. It's still too cold. See it splitting there? I said, I'm not worried about that because I'm gonna weld that back up anyway. In theory.
Oh, that's just to protect them, I guess, from too hot blaze. Do you ever have that happen? Found it so hot that they open up again?
You mean they get hard?
No,
it's the bills. Like they get heat it and they kind of back off. You never let them get that hot. I fall asleep.
Just opening this back open again.
Why are you doing that?
I want to get in there with a brush, clean it.
Yeah, that's when it becomes critical to welding. And I appreciate the reason for having such a big surface for your forge. Yeah, your gold.
I wouldn't mind.
Well, that's water that goes in the well, that's what he uses to crack there on the
And they had the slot, and they had the cook. No, I don't know if it's exactly like that, but it's a crushed. Yeah, and I think that way too, we're on the same page
So this is just straight borax that I use for flux. I find it works just fine.
And that's what you mean by slipping.
It melts. Yeah. When you're trying to do weld, your steel will slip sometimes.
So the iron filing slows that down.
Yeah.
How much would you add to a iron filings, like a pinch? Or?
It kind of, I do it so it's pretty much, you can see them, it's kind of grayish. I don't know if there's a set amount you should add.
Fortunately, just in the industry, he actually signed me. He actually showed me how to use a torch radiograph.
This went smooth.
Oh yeah, good learning.
It is a leaf spring. This is so high.
He's going to use it.
You know what? I can't remember.
Why is it on the beach now?
It's from a wash plant. It's not in Glace Bay, it's in Sydney Mines.
You already said too much. Origin. Oh yeah, but it's part of an artisan network called the Economy Museum.
Yeah, that's easier. You hold it. Just want to open that up just a bit.
So is the tool you're using, is that another piece of spring steel that you've
That is actually a piece of spring, but it's off of a carriage from 100 and some odd years. And the big difference here is when you're welding this, I'm not sure if I did this properly, but when you're welding this, the high carbon steel gets up to heat a lot faster. So ideally you want your iron hot when you're putting the cold steel into it. So it's going to hopefully get to welding heat at the same time as both pieces get to welding heat at the same time.
The wrought iron gets hot faster.
No.
The high carbon steel.
Higher the carbon, the faster it heats. You get it to a lower temperature is what happens. Somebody picked that up, Louis.
Blue for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blade's a little bit.
Harder to do with an audience, eh?
I find it hard to get used to a different forge and different coal.